What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tuesday night Q&A hangout. Talking Chiefs, talking a little bit of Texans. I haven't gotten as far as I want to yet in my study for the preview video, but yeah, the Chiefs take on the Texans this Saturday. The question is that everybody is asking, who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Carson Wentz? Is it going to be Patrick Mahomes? Nobody knows yet. It's trending potentially looking like Mahomes is going to play because he really wants to go out there and play, guys. Let's just be honest. He said his ankle sprain that he's dealing with, a mild high ankle sprain, is not as bad as the one that he had to work through a couple playoffs ago. If you remember, it happened in the Jags game. He then ended up coming back in there, played through it, AFC Championship against the Bengals. They beat the Bengals, played through it, Super Bowl 57 against the Eagles. He said it's not that bad. It's not as bad as that time. Also, he dealt with an ankle injury week 8, week 9 this season. If you guys remember that, he was a bit banged up. That was his left ankle. The one he just injured in last week's game in the weird win over the Browns, it was his right ankle. So it's going to be his plant leg, right-handed. I'm left-handed, so this feels really weird to me, but right-handed, you're going to plant and use that to throw. That's how it works a lot of times. I mean, Mahomes can make it work. He doesn't always have to have proper throwing mechanics, but yeah, that's the leg you're often pushing off of to throw, especially deep. But yeah, Mahomes spoke to the media today. Carson Wentz spoke to the media today as well. So the Chiefs kind of have both of them looking like they could maybe be playing. It could be some smokescreen, and they are going to have Patrick Mahomes play pretty much no matter what. Now, they are going to let him go through practice and like this week and kind of see how he does. He was a full participant at practice today, but it's worth noting real quick before I just get in and kind of hang out with you guys that per Matt Derrick and others, today was a walkthrough, okay? So he was listed as a full participant today, talking about Patrick Mahomes, but it was no pads, no contact, just I think he meant light workout, not late workout. Could have meant late, but I think he meant light workout. Wednesday's practice will be the real test. And if you click on it, I mean, yeah, you had Shamari Connor. He's in the concussion protocol. DJ Humphries with the hamstring did not practice. So I would assume if DJ Humphries doesn't practice tomorrow, he's potentially not playing Saturday. They're going to wait, have him play Christmas. You would most likely have Joe Thuney again at left tackle and Mike Caliendo at guard. I'm fine with that. Like Joe Thuney, yeah, he gave up 10 pressures, but he was better. He was better than Wanye Morris. He was better than Kingsley Suamataia, and Mike Caliendo, who played left guard, had 0 pressures allowed. So that's great. I mean, Joe Thuney, like, he's going to get bullied a little bit. He's a guard, okay? He's not going to be the best left tackle in the world, but for what it's worth, he's the best left tackle option the Chiefs have right now until DJ Humphries can get healthy. So we'll see. Is it Mahomes season? Is it Carson Wentz season? We're going to have to just kind of see how practices go, and then we'll get the game designations. I would assume, if anything, Patrick Mahomes is listed as questionable and will be a game time decision, even though the Chiefs probably know all along what they're actually going to do. Carson Wentz preps every week like he is going to play. He could be a starter in this league, says Andy Reid. He should be a starter, could be a starter in this league. So Chiefs, they are at Arrowhead. You're at home. You are taking on a Texans team, I think, that plays indoors, right? They're used to a little bit more just easier weather, okay? No wind, no temperature. You're coming to Kansas City where I don't know what the temperature is, what it's supposed to be on Saturday. I mean, we could look it up. But I'm sure it's not going to be warm. It's not going to be Texas warm. Kansas City weather. On Saturday, high of 37, low of 25. So yeah, good luck, guys. They've got some dogs on that team, man. They got Nico Collins. You've got Joe Mixon, CJ Stroud. I mean, their O-line has been having issues. They're 9-5. They just beat the Dolphins. They have issues, but their defense is pretty good. Top 10, top 5 in some metrics. And if Joe Mixon plays, which he should, he got hurt last week at some point in that game against the Dolphins, came back and finished out the game. But if Joe Mixon plays, he's a legitimate run threat. He's had like 7 or 8 100-yard rushing games this year, and he's missed a few games due to injury. The Chiefs' run defense is pretty good. I'm not worried about it. They're coming off a great defensive outing against the Cleveland Browns. C.J. Stroud is much higher level than Jameis Winston, much higher level than Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I mean, C.J. Stroud's going to be much better than that. But the defense should come in like just super encouraged by the fact that they had 5 takeaways on defense, 1 on special teams, but 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 5 sacks. You pressured Winston and company 12, 14 times. It was a great showing. And then Charles Omenihu, he had a strip sack on Jameis Winston, but they recovered. George Karlaftis or somebody had another sack. I think it was George Karlaftis had a 3rd sack on Jameis Winston that got negated to a Joshua Williams illegal hands to the face penalty. So the defense looking great. They're pretty healthy out there. The offense is where you've got the question marks. Why are you running, or why are you abandoning the run when you're up 21 points? You still abandon the run when you're up 14 points. I mean, you ran 6 times in 22 plays in the second half or something insane. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, part of that's just who plays. Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. I feel like I've kind of rambled enough, but those are just kind of my preliminary thoughts about this game, how things are shaping up for the Chiefs. And I guess it's worth mentioning that there's a couple other guys that are new on the injury report. Creed Humphrey with an ankle, but he was a full go. Harrison Butker, that's not a surprise with his knee. Jawan Taylor's knee has been on there for a little while. Hollywood Brown is trending towards playing this Saturday, barring setbacks. They're going to basically say, we'll see. But they waived Clyde Edwards-Helaire yesterday to make room, presumably, for Hollywood Brown on the 53-man roster. You've got 1 spot open. Hollywood Brown could be that guy. You don't need 5 running backs on the roster. That's insane. So Hollywood Brown could see some playing time this Saturday. We'll have to wait and see, but he's looking good out there at practice from what everybody's saying. Remember, it was an upper body injury, not a lower body injury, so he's running all around and looking pretty good out there. Brad, thanks so much for the membership. Kyle with the 5. Did you by chance have the package from me yet? It should be delivered by now. It might still be at the UPS store, but I do have it. And then I got it gifted from somebody, but it got retracted, and I don't know who it was from. But thank you for the gifted. I don't know what happened. Cole, can I message you on Twitter or Discord about getting a shirt? Oh, I was kind of trolling around with you. I would get you a shirt, Xander, but I couldn't get you one in time for the game. I have to order it. I would have to order it and ship it in. When you said you were going to the game, I was just kind of messing with you, but I would get you a shirt. Yeah, I would definitely get you a shirt, but it would not come in time for the game. Yeah, Carl Cheffers is officiating this game for those of you who are wondering or care about officiating crews. Carl Cheffers, we got him. We didn't get him for 15 weeks, but we got him for 16. We will beat the Texans, said Sam. We have to wreck their O-line. Yeah, especially their interior facts. I hope so. Feeling bad for CEH. Yeah, he said a goodbye to the kingdom yesterday. And, yeah, I mean, Andy Reid, said, hey, we love the guy. Would love to have him back again one day. I think he's just being kind. But yeah, he didn't pan out exactly what you would hope for in a former first-round pick, but he dealt with some unfortunate injuries, then dealt with some mental health issues, and it just kind of is what it is. If he does catch on with somebody else, I mean, there's a couple teams that could really use a running back. 49ers, Lions, David Montgomery out for season. The 49ers have both CMC and Jordan Mason on IR. I don't even know I don't think Garindo's 100% either. That's their 3rd string, I think, rookie running back. He's dealing with maybe a toe. What camera do you use? I use a Sony A7S III. I have 2 of them. One here, one here. We got them both. You're going to the game. Let's go, Josh. I know it won't be here for the game, but I think I can message you on Discord for a shirt. Shirt. You want a shirt? Everybody wants a shirt? What is happening? Did you hear the news? Cousins got benched. Yeah, so that's probably the biggest NFL news of the evening is Kirk Cousins is getting benched, and it's Michael Penix Jr. season. He is set to make his first start Sunday for the Falcons. So that's probably the biggest news of the day, or at least of the evening. After a review, we made the decision. Michael Penix Jr. will be the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback moving forward, said Raheem Morris. This was a football decision. Dude, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm glad we're not talking, like, the Falcons isn't the team that we talk about here really on this channel. But yeah, I mean, you paid Kirk Cousins a big old contract, 3-4 year deal. He's got like $90 million guaranteed on that deal. Yeah, God bless, dude. Kyle said, remember what we discussed. Also, being a Vikings fan feels great right now. Yeah, Vikings look good, man. I think they're 11-2. The Eagles are 11-2. The Bills are 11-2. The Lions are 11-2. There's a lot of 11-2s. I think maybe some are 12-2. Maybe they're all 12-2, what I just said. My bad. Most of them are probably 12-2. The Chiefs are 13-1. What we discussed, I think we discussed don't open them until Christmas or somewhere around there. Allie with the 11 months, one more month, and it's a year. Let's freaking go. Also, if Mahomes plays, any sign of him in a lot of pain, take him out. Yeah, so that's something you do risk, with these ankle injuries. If you bring them out there, I mean, Patrick Mahomes said in his presser today, hey, I'm not really thinking about the fact that we have a game 5 days later on Christmas after the Saturday game. You're just focused on this game right now, Saturday. He had 12 hours-ish of treatment yesterday on his ankle. Full participant at practice today. We'll see how it shapes up Wednesday, Thursday, what his game designation is. Obviously, we would all probably prefer Patrick Mahomes to start, but not necessarily at the cost of further aggravating this ankle injury. You know what I mean? So we'll see. He's going to want to play. You're going to want to win. He's going to want to be out there. He's a competitor at the end of the day. The Chiefs are still fighting for the 1 seed. I think if you win the next 2 games, pretty much no matter what happens, if the Chiefs end up 15-1, I think they could clinch the 1 seed. There could be some other scenarios that have to play out that I'm just not sure of off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, he's going to want to go out there and play. That's for sure. Lisa with the 5 bomb. Thank you so much, Lisa. Appreciate you. And then Kanan with the 2. If Mahomes doesn't play, it might be time you suit up. I mean, here's the thing. Carson Wentz, great backup quarterback, could be a starter in the NFL, especially when you're looking at some of these guys around the league playing. Like, would you say at this point in time, Carson Wentz could probably get out there and handle a game better than Anthony Richardson? I mean, yeah, probably so. He's not as athletic per se as Anthony Richardson is right now, but Carson Wentz, I mean, like, dude, he was on an MVP trajectory the year that they won a Super Bowl before he got hurt. Has he been the same since? I don't know about all that. But yeah, he's still a good quarterback. He's been in the system too for quite a while now. Would he make some decisions out there that you're like, huh? If Mahomes doesn't play and Carson Wentz does, sure. But could we also maybe see a couple things here and there from Carson Wentz that we haven't seen from Patrick Mahomes right now, who's been playing through a lot of things? He's not just playing through this ankle injury, guys. Like, he's been getting hit a ton. He's been hit more than he ever has been in his career this year, sacked more than he ever has in his career this year, already a season high. I don't think he was sacked at all last week, but he got hurt. So cool. You didn't get sacked, but you basically got sacked and your ankle kind of torqued as well. Kevin said, if I was coach, I would start Wentz, see how it goes, and bring Pat in for a final drive if needed. Lucky said Mahomes won a Super Bowl on a leg and a half, should be fine. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Mahomes' ankle injury then in the playoffs, it's do or die. He's going out there no matter what. This time, you have the luxury to potentially take a step back if you need to, let that thing rest, or at least just sit this one out, be ready to go by Christmas. There's a few different scenarios that could play out. Mahomes is going to want to play. He told the media today, it does not feel bad as the injury I had in that playoff run a couple years ago. I want to play. I'm going to do all that I can to be out there, but at the same time, if I'm for some reason limited to the extent of I feel like I'm going to hinder the team and the offensive production, I'm not going to play. Would he actually say that when push comes to shove? If Andy Reid says, do you feel like you could play? I feel like Mahomes could walk out there with no legs and be like, I'm playing. Nah, I'm going to need to suit up and hop on the line. Oh, on the O-line? Okay, Kanan, yeah. You could come help the O-line. Why not? Which ankle was it in the Super Bowl? Does anybody remember off the top of your head? I think it was his right one, but I could be wrong. I had a 50-50 chance of being right. Okay, yeah, Wiz is right. That's what I thought. If Carson plays, no more field goal. 4th and 1. Tush push. Yeah, that is actually something. That's a great point. That is something Carson Wentz legitimately can bring to the Chiefs offense if they decide to use it. He is not only good at quarterback sneaks, but very efficient and very effective. They will basically never run a quarterback sneak ever again with Patrick Mahomes, maybe unless it's the playoffs or something, but the fluke accident that happened years back on that sneak in Denver messed up his kneecap and had to miss a couple games. Yeah, they're probably never going to run the sneak again, but Carson Wentz can do it. Carson Wentz can do it, which is, it brings a different dynamic for sure. That's actually something I thought they would do with him this year when they brought him in, signed him on as a backup quarterback. I was like, yo, you could bring him in legitimately on random like 3rd and 4th and shorts and run a sneak. Maybe they do it in the playoffs. They brought him in for a play, if you remember, a few weeks ago. Don't remember what game it was, but Carson Wentz and Mahomes were both out there. Kelsey splash day incoming. I mean, I'll take it. You're glad it's not as bad. Yeah, me too. Kevin said the entire O-line is an issue. Interior 3 are not elite. Tooney, Humphrey, completely overrated. And why we're going to lose in the first round? I think, Kevin, there's only been one interior trio in the entire NFL to not allow a sack, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs interior trio of Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith. Trey Smith is sometimes stressed a little bit because of Jawan Taylor's play of stepping too back, but obviously you're entitled to your opinion. I disagree with it and think that the interior trio of the Chiefs O-line is fine. That's not the weakness of the O-line. Creed is the best center in football by almost every single metric that you look at. Joe Tooney is easily top 3, top 5, and has been for years. Trey Smith has given up more pressures than I would have liked to see, but some of that is because Jawan Taylor drops back so deep in his sets that he's sometimes leaving Trey Smith a little bit like out to dry. Yeah, Tooney ranks number 1, Creed ranks number 1. Smith ranks number 6. Yeah, it depends on what metrics you're using, but I definitely disagree with what Kevin said. Now, are there times where it's not just the tackles being the problem along the line? I mean, yeah, but predominantly, like, majority of the time, it's going to be tackle play. Favorite lineman of, like, all time? Probably Willie Roaf. How do you frame the Jan Stenerud jersey you won from me? There's, like, a bunch of different options. You could buy a jersey frame. There's a bunch. Can you look at your comment above? Can you just type it again? Because I can't always keep up with all the comments. But type it again. That's okay. If Carson, yeah. Generator, thanks for the 2. True, very true, very true. Bad tackle play puts pressure on the entire O-line. Yeah, for sure. Definitely not ideal. But I wouldn't say if you had to pick. I don't think the interior trio for the most part is the issue. Now, are they perfect? No. Definitely not, but they're one of the better interior trios in the entire NFL. Would they ever consider splitting time throughout the game with Mahomes and Wentz? Like this Saturday, like, hey, you go out there for a bit and then swap. I think if they did do that, in my head, you would go Wentz first. If things start to get a little out of hand, you would bring Mahomes out there. But I don't like that idea. I think if you're going to start a quarterback, just let them play, obviously, unless they get hurt or it's just awful. I don't think you would split time. Could be wrong. You see an opportunity for more pitches rather than handing off to save Mahomes extra footwork this week. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they run a lot out of the gun anyway, so that's not going to be that much of an issue. Where it's going to be more of an issue is what you're saying is like runs from under center, Mahomes snapping the ball, having to turn back, step back 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 steps to hand the ball off. You could maybe see some pitches. I don't feel like the Chiefs do a lot of those, and they're not going to want to switch the game plan up like a ton to facilitate the ankle per se, but if they need to make tweaks, they'll make tweaks. You're going to the game, sitting 3rd row from the bench. Comic, let's go. That's awesome, dude. Hope you enjoy that. Xander with the 20 is also going to the game. Can't wait for after the game to go to Q39 for KC barbecue for dinner with my cousins and brother. Let's go, dude. Already made the reservation a few weeks ago. Barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese. Oh, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Hope you have a great time, man. Hopefully the Chiefs get a dub for you too. Is there any word on Jay Connor? Chamari Connor, maybe? You're not talking James Connor. Chamari Connor, he's just in the concussion protocol. Yeah. He's in the concussion protocol right now. And no data. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I might have lagged for a second. He's in the concussion protocol. I do not know if Chamari Connor plays on Saturday or not. The short week doesn't help. One less day. He was a DNP today. Did not participate. We need to see if he trends upwards at all to limited or full by the end of the week. If not, he's probably not playing. I like your hoodie from the previous videos. Thanks, man. I got a few different ones. I was trying to see which one, but I do have a new one that's got like the patches on it and stuff. I'm glad you like it. Let Carson play. That's what Kenneth says. We should do a poll. I'm just curious. There's 1,100 people in chat, so I would be curious to get your thoughts. Who should start on Saturday? We'll say Mahomes, and then Wentz, and then I was going to add a third option for fun, but there's really no third option. Will Hollywood speed help Worthy? Well, Hollywood speed is going to help really the offense in general. They don't have a lot of receivers who are great at beating man coverage, and Hollywood Brown is going to give you somebody that can do that. In theory, he's going to be a little rusty. He's also probably going to be on a pitch count if he plays Saturday, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Hollywood's going to help the middle. He's going to help Kelsey and D-Hop, and then he'll also help take some pressure off of Worthy for sure. Now, the thing about that is, like, the deep ball is a whole nother conversation, maybe for another day. Mahomes is struggling with the deep ball, maybe a case of the yips. If you saw what Maddie Lane of KCSN was talking about the other day on Twitter, just in reference to like Mahomes' mechanics, his throwing motion, he doesn't seem confident when he's firing the ball down the field. They haven't had a lot of attempts down the field to begin with, but they're not really connecting a lot on the deep ball. Mahomes even said if he could have a play back from last week's game, talking just Sunday's game against the Browns, he would not have targeted Justin Watson down the field in double coverage. He would have instead hit Worthy on the shallow crosser because Worthy's speed probably would have got him quite a ways up the field. So that is one he said, if I could go back, I would not have thrown the ball down the field in double coverage to Justin Watson. Sean Peterson with the 20 months. 20 months, man. Let's go. With the red beard tier. Howdy, everyone. I want Wentz this week. I'm afraid Wentz may perform better with less pressure than Mahomes because teams know how to defend Mahomes under Reed. Just don't be shocked. It happens. Much love. How about those Chiefs? Yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, and Sean, thanks so much for the 5 gifted as well. Let's freaking go, dude. Appreciate you as always, man. Yeah, from that regard, you don't have film on Wentz. The other part of that, too, is like, I don't know, there's going to be a little rust there. He did come in for a drive, or maybe 2 drives by the end of it last week, but yeah, Wentz hasn't really played. He hasn't played all season. So there's going to be a little rust. But yeah, they don't have tape on him, and you don't know what to expect, and he could go out there and be a little bit more free, be a little bit more loose, and take some shots. Here's the other thing. Like, yeah, he hasn't been playing in games, but he's been helping with the scout team every single week in practice. I mean, all these players, when they speak at pressers, they speak at the media. I'm trying to think who it was. Maybe it was Trent McDuffie. Somebody recently was saying, hey, shout out to Wentz because this dude is incredible, and he is slinging it at practice, talking about dimes, throwing dimes at practice, and that helps keep them on their A game when they're practicing against the scout team every week for practice. So, yeah, Wentz hasn't been in a lot of real game time, but he's been slinging it every week at practice, and they're all impressed by him. He is a pro's pro, former starter. If Wentz has to go, I mean, that's the best backup quarterback the Chiefs have had, and that's in a long time, and that's no disrespect to, I mean, any of them. List them off. Now, a fan favorite is Chad Henne, and it's much respect to Chad Henne. Thankful for him, and it's no disrespect to him. But, dude, compare Carson Wentz's stats and numbers in his career to Chad Henne, and it's not close. It's really not close. Jennifer with the 5 gifted as well, immediately following Sean. Thanks so much. Mule Deer with the 2. Chat is wondering your thoughts on Butker's miss. Ooh. I mean, I feel like that was kind of a weird fluke thing because he made 3 extra points. And those, I think the extra points are 35-yarders, right? And he missed like a 29-yard chip shot. That was his field goal. So he made 3 extra points, missed a field goal. There was some like weird confusion during that. I don't know if you guys remember. Some of you probably do. But it was 4th and 1, I think. They called a timeout, or the Browns called a timeout. The Chiefs were thinking about going for it, changed their minds. Butker ran out there. Meanwhile, long snapper James Winchester and the placeholder Matt Ariza did not follow. So the broadcast was showing Butker like flustered, like trying to wave these people down. He's like going like this. I don't know if he was like trying to mime. Like, I don't know what he was doing. But I think he was flustered going into that play and just kind of rushed the kick. Now, his mechanics are still falling down on that knee, which makes me nervous. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of a fluke of a miss. You know, some people say, well, maybe they shouldn't have rushed Butker back out there so soon. You had Matthew Wright and he was doing fine. I mean, touche. Hindsight's 20/20, but they felt Butker was ready and decided to bring him back. Again, he drilled all 3 extra points right down the middle, but the 29-yarder, he did mess up on that one, and I think he was a little bit rushed. B. Hayes with the 5. What's up, man? Let's not forget, we were 9-5. Yeah, we were 9-5 at this point last year with a worse offensive roster on paper. Yeah, our offensive line isn't the same, but still, yeah. I mean, there's always positives we can draw. I mean, 100%. The Chiefs are 13-1 right now. Last year, they dropped, 3 out of 5 games, and then heading into Christmas, they were playing the Raiders, and I think that's when they dropped to 9-5 or 9-6. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but it was not good. To say the least. I mean, you guys remember Christmas? That was freaking awful. It was awful. It was so bad. Yeah, definitely, I think looking better in ways this year. Their defense is not as good, but they're still playing well. They had a really good, encouraging outing last week against the Browns. I mean, Jameis Winston is not CJ Stroud, but they got weapons. Like Jerry Jeudy is a great guy. Great receiver, rather. He could be a great guy. I don't know. But he's a great receiver. He just had 200 and something yards against the Broncos, who are a top 5 defense in the NFL. But Jameis Winston, man, I feel like he a little bit was just having a bad game, but I think Spags and company got to him. They got in his head, and he made mistakes. Threw 3 picks. Should have thrown probably 5. Was strip sacked by a Minihue. They recovered, but then sacked 5 other times, 6 other times, but a Joshua Williams penalty negated that. But yeah, last year, this time, the Chiefs are like 9-5. I mean, we were having people saying, hey, we don't even know if the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs just because of how they were playing and they kept losing. Well, this year, they're already locked into the playoffs. They've already clinched the AFC West. That's not the question at this point in time. Casey with the 5. Tooney at left tackle was the first time after a game you could say we can build on that to get better in pass pro. Didn't say that with our other guys. No, 100%. And if that's what they decide to do this Saturday against the Texans, and you've got some dogs that you've got to look out for. I think Will Anderson, I think Danielle Hunter, if I remember right. I'll have to look it up. I could look it up right now. I think he's got like 12 sacks or 10 sacks on the year or something. Let me look it up and see. But yeah, they've got guys. I mean, that's for sure. Let me make sure that my numbers are right. I'm probably off on the sacks. Well, no, it says Danielle Hunter has 12 sacks. Will Anderson Jr. has 10.5. I mean, geez. So they've got some guys, man. They definitely have some guys that you've got to watch out for. But all that being said, Joe Tooney and Mike Caliendo again over there, the more reps you get, it's like going to the gym. You just get better. You get stronger. And yeah, if you've got a roll with Tooney again at left tackle, Mike Caliendo at left guard, like, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's not perfect, but until DJ Humphries can get healthy, you don't want to rush him out there, further re-aggravate that hamstring, and then kind of be SOL for the playoffs. Brenda with the 5 gifted as well. Let's freaking go. Casey Lyon with the 2 bomb. Wentz led the Eagles to an NFC title before his injury. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the year he got hurt. I mean, maybe that was a previous year, but the year they won the Super Bowl, I think he got hurt near the end of the regular season, right? Either way, I mean, Wentz is a winner. He knows how to win. Do we have an update on DJ and Nelson? Well, DJ Humphries didn't practice today. They're still giving him a little bit more time with the hamstring. Andy Reid spoke about, you're talking about Steven Nelson. He spoke about Steven Nelson today and he basically said Hollywood Brown's going to be out there playing before Steven Nelson will be. He gave the impression last week that Steven Nelson's going to take a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. I would think if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you don't want to just not call up Steven Nelson at all in the regular season and just be like, oh, we're just gonna play him in the playoffs. No, I think you're here in the next couple of weeks. Maybe it's Christmas. Maybe it's after Christmas. In a perfect world, you lock up the 1 seed by Christmas or before if you can. I don't know if you can before or not because of the Bills beating the Lions. But if you could lock up the 1 seed by Christmas, you've got that Broncos game where you can just kind of let whoever go out there and play. I would let Steven Nelson get some reps. Yeah, I'd let him get some reps for sure. Justin with the 21 months. I got my beard back. Let's go, dude. 21 months, man. The alien himself. Travis with the 10 said, Cole, hear me out. The reason for bad play calling abandoning the run is because they were trying hard to get the pass game figured out for the postseason. Doesn't sound logical, but it's possible. I mean, honestly, Travis, we could talk about that for a second because you're not the first to say that. So let's just say that's the truth. Let's say there's some element of truth to that. Andy Reid and company were pressing the issue a little bit of, hey, this is a team we are clearly beating. Let's try to test some things out and work some things out before the playoffs. Maybe that's true. But Mahomes was getting pressured on 54% of his dropbacks. He was hit 11 times. Like, it was at one point when they threw those 8 incompletions in a row, back-to-back plays, Mahomes got leveled. On that third down, he got hit so hard on the ground, he laid there for a few seconds like, ow. This is not his ankle injury. This was before that. So if that's the case, well, they're trying to test things out. I mean, Andy Reid and company is borderline negligent if that's the case because they're watching their QB1 get, hit left and right, leveled, hurt, banged up. I'm talking before the ankle. So it's like, well, you're up 21, you're up 14. At this point in time, you really just you're on a 3-game stretch, 3 games in 11 days. I would think you just want to get out of there healthy. You want to live to fight another day. Now, Andy Reid and company said, well, the run game wasn't working. They're putting extra defenders in the box, covering gaps to play the run because earlier on in the season, they weren't doing that, and the Chiefs are having a lot more success running the football. Well, now they're putting more people in the box, and they're also saying we're not afraid of your deep ball, and they're probably right at this point in time to not be afraid of it. But yeah, if that was the case, like they were just testing things out, trying to force things a little bit to work out some passing game kinks for the playoffs. I mean, I feel like it's a little negligent because of how much Mahomes was getting hit. But maybe there's an element of truth to that. I just don't know. I'm over here like, well, if you're up and you just want to get away from this game, get out of there, get a W, even if you're running 3 times and have to punt, you're going to take a few minutes off the clock, 40 seconds of play times 3, where if you're passing what they were doing, it was like 3 incompletions. One drive took 40 seconds. One drive took 20 seconds, 29 seconds, 49 seconds. Like they were doing no favors at all for their defense. B. Hayes with the 5. Bottom line is risk a potential loss to rest the best quarterback in the league for the postseason. We need to change our offensive play calling. Yeah, I just think if the 1 seed is still on the line, there's the other thought process there of, well, let's push now. This is what Mahomes was saying too. Let's push now. Let's fight now. Get these couple of wins. Get the 1 seed locked up and then rest. You can rest week 18. You get the first round bye. You go into the playoffs healthy. So there's kind of like 2 schools of thought there because the 1 seed is not out of reach for the Kansas City Chiefs at this point in time. Now, if they were a different team that have no shot at the 1 seed, I would like 1,000% agree with you. Obviously, I'm not saying force Mahomes to play against the Texans. I think that's irresponsible, not wise. And at this point in time, I really see the path to where Wentz could start Saturday, even though I think Mahomes still has a shot. He's really going to want to play, and they might actually let him do it. If this was a normal week, Sunday to Sunday to Sunday, Mahomes is probably definitely playing. But this is a Sunday to Saturday to Wednesday, 3 games in 11 days, a little bit different scenario. But the 1 seed is still in reach. They want that coveted first-round bye. We'll definitely have to see, man. We'll see what they end up doing. But I can see your logic. Protect Mahomes from himself. But then the other side of it is, well, if he's going to go out there and do it smartly and not, bang up his ankle even more, help the team get the dub, to help lock up that 1 seed, then you can rest a little bit later at a more crucial time. KC Lion with the 5. Wentz got injured in 2017. He was 3rd in MVP voting. Yeah, that was the same year. Foles took his place and won the Super Bowl. Yeah, he beat he beat Tom Brady. Yeah, that was a crazy year. No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, Wentz isn't the same. That was a long time ago, kinda. That's Mahomes' rookie year. That's how long ago that was. But he's still a good quarterback. I do have faith in him. If they have him play a game, like they were winning games with Matt Moore. They've won games with Chad Henne. If anybody can help Nick Foles to a victory on Saturday, it's going to be Andy Reid and his game plan. I mean, we'll see, but they should still be able to win that game even without Mahomes. And really, that's no disrespect to the Texans. It's going to be a tough game regardless. They're a good team, 9-5. CJ Stroud's great. Nico Collins. Like, you've got a bunch of people on both sides of the football, well coached. But you should be able to get it done, even with Carson Wentz if you need to. Travis with the 5. Thanks so much for the $5 super sticker, bro. Let's go. Darrell with the 2. Hoping deep ball gets better with Hollywood. It's going to help, I think, every phase of the football in the pass game. Short, intermediate, and deep. The thing with the deep ball, it's like, can Mahomes hit it? I don't know. Sometimes it's on him. Sometimes it's a little bit of miscommunication. Sometimes he's forcing it. Mechanics are off. There's been times where he's hit Worthy deep down the field, but Worthy, the spatial awareness, he's still like kind of working through that as a rookie. He was out of bounds on 2 passes that, yeah, if Mahomes threw it just slightly different angle, it's probably a walk-in touchdown. But he also, talking about Worthy, could have caught it and put both feet in bounds. I mean, we see it every single week. We just saw it on Monday Night Football. Who the heck was it? Keenan Allen. Absolutely insane sideline catch. Toes in, falls forward, catches that ball complete. I mean, he's a vet in the game. Always giving the Chiefs fits over in his years with the Chargers. But I mean, you see it week in and week out. You see these receivers with spatial awareness making catches that, yeah, maybe the throw wasn't perfect, but they still were able to corral it and make sure they have possession, 2 feet in bounds. That's happened a couple times with Worthy. They've been off a couple times, specifically early on in the year. They've hit early too. Week 4, Chargers, 54-yard bomb, touchdown. That's the last deep ball that they've completed. The last one. So that's been 10 weeks ago. But I do hope the deep ball gets better too. I mean, Hollywood's going to help in every aspect of the pass game, in my opinion. There is some assumption there because we saw him play 1 play before getting hurt in preseason. But based on what we saw in the offseason, he knows the playbook. Based on what we've seen from him in previous years, how you can use him and his speed, how they were planning on using him, I'm excited for his return for sure. I'm not going to have a lot of expectations for Hollywood at first, but I am excited as they work him back in, knock off the rust before the playoff run. Britt Lyons with the 27 months. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Hollywood Brown can do alongside Kelsey and D-Hop. Exactly. What's up, Britt? Thanks so much for the 27 bomb. We were just talking about it. Yes, sir. J-Pap with the 2. Wentz is the best backup quarterback since Mahomes in 2017. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody when I say all the backups, but I mean, you had Chase Daniel, you had Matt Moore, you had Chad Henne. I feel like there's one more too. You had Blaine Gabbert. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, no disrespect, better than those guys. Xavier With the 27 months, what's up, Goat? What's up, dude? Hope y'all been well. Wentz got this, but hope Mahomes needs to, Mahomes needs to get healthy. And it's interesting, I'm checking this poll that I started a few minutes ago, 18 minutes ago now. Who should start on Saturday? Patrick Mahomes or Carson Wentz? 510 votes. 37% say Mahomes. 63% say Wentz. So a strong majority says, hey, Mahomes' ankle's not right. And you probably have varying reasons to different degrees, but Mahomes' ankle isn't right. Don't risk further injury. Let Wentz and company handle business on Saturday. Rest him for Christmas. Let's get the W over the Steelers as well. Lock up the 1 seed and call it a day. Final thought, said B. Hayes with the 5. If any team can come up with a game plan for a backup QB to win a game, it's Andy Reid and Spags. No, 100%. Yeah, I was saying that a little bit earlier, Hayes. I was saying they did it with Matt Moore. Like, was it Matt Moore? Wasn't it Matt Moore that was in when Mahomes hurt his knee? Wasn't that him? I believe it was. With the Kansas City Chiefs? I think it was 2019. He went 2-1. He was 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 3 games. I mean, you can see it here. Beat the Vikings 26-23. Beat the lost to the Packers by 7 points. And then smoked the Broncos. So that was 3 games, I believe, Mahomes had to miss. And they went 2-1 with Matt Moore. So I agree with you. If they can figure out how to get a W on Saturday with Carson Wentz, I mean, it's going to be Andy Reid and company. And then if you potentially have Hollywood back, like you have Kelsey, you've got a bunch of pieces. I mean, they don't have the rapport with Wentz like they do with Mahomes. And Mahomes is obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. You could argue he's top 3 all-time already. Has he been the same guy the last couple of years? I mean, no, but 3rd down, 4th down, 4th quarter, I mean, he's showing up and he's making things happen that not a lot of other quarterbacks can make happen. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, I mean, there's a few quarterbacks right now that are playing some really, really good football. I mean, you could argue like Sam Darnold's playing good football. But when the game's on the line, there's nobody I'm going to trust more than Patrick Mahomes. He has 7 game-winning drives this year alone. 29, I think, in his career. I mean, it's just absolutely unreal stuff. QB1 of the NFL, even though he doesn't look the same right now. Cole, Rashee Rice had an Instagram live tonight at the doctor. Thought he already had his surgery. Yeah, he had his surgery, but I would assume he's going to have checkups. He's going to have, rehab. He's going to have all kinds of stuff. I mean, I could glance and see what that story looked like. I don't know. It was a pretty serious surgery. Let me see if I can find him real quick. See what you're talking about. I feel like if it was anything major, we would have seen about it. It must have been yesterday, and it's already off of his stories. But yeah, no, he should be fine. I mean, he's not going to play this year, but I'm not worried right now about Rice. He should be back next year. The question is suspension. How long is that going to be? And then he'll come back. You think Josh Allen will win in the AFC? Like, do we think the Bills will get to the Super Bowl? I mean, they've got a pretty good chance. Their defense has allowed 86 points in 2 weeks, though. They got to button that up. I understand you're playing against the Lions, but then you're also playing against the Rams. They're good, but like 44 points good? I like Stafford. I like Kupp. I like Puka. I think they're freaking great. But seriously? So, yeah, they're a team that is a threat to the AFC for sure, but you got to figure out that defense a little bit. Josh Allen, by the way, he banged up his shoulder at the end of last game. Are you leaving?
This is literally for your mom.
Okay. What the hell? My wife's like loading up a suitcase. I'm like, are you going somewhere? What is happening? She said it's for my mom. I don't know if I'm buying that. What is happening? That was hilarious. I was like, why is she wielding a suitcase? Riz King said, dang, Cole, she's out. Oh, that was so funny, man. Yeah, I think she's putting it out on the front porch for my mom. Or it's for me. Just put it down here. Just put it down here. That was crazy. I don't even remember what I was saying because I got so sidetracked by the suitcase. Eric with the 21 months. Mahomes needs time to feel confident back there. Tooney Caliendo will have to be it until DJ is ready. I think that's the best combo for sure. LOL on the suitcase thing. I was like, what is happening, guys? That was crazy. Travis with the 10, adding on to what I said. Yeah, I agree with you, Cole. If it's true, it's not the smartest thing. Mahomes could have been forcing the pass game himself because he wants to figure it out badly. Who knows? Yeah, somebody else was talking about this today too. Maybe it was the Colin Cowherd podcast. I can't remember where I heard it. I listened to freaking all kinds of stuff. But somebody was saying, hey, they could have had run plays called and Mahomes could have checked out of them based on the boxes that he saw, which was technically maybe the right thing to do. So there could have been an aspect of maybe they were actually calling more run plays and Mahomes was checking out of them based on the coverage. That could very well be true. And that's something we'll probably never really know. But if that's the case, Mahomes, we understand that you want to just figure it out every single down and make things happen. But I would say just let the running backs handle it. If you're up 21, you're up 14. You're talking about Allen? Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're just talking about the playoffs. I mean, some of those quarterbacks are playing some good ball. The Bills, but dude, 86 points in 2 games is insane. You got to clean that up. What happened? Oh, Josh's shoulder. So Josh, okay, thank you. That's when the suitcase happened. So on the last play of the game, or one of the last times Josh Allen got hit in the game, he landed pretty hardly on his hard on his shoulder, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, that looked like it hurt. He ended up getting an X-ray after the game, precautionary. I think it's clean. I don't even know if he's going to be on the injury report this week or not. It is just something to monitor. The fact that Josh Allen kind of got leveled and drove into the ground a little bit on his throwing shoulder, right shoulder. I don't think it's a big deal, but it is something to monitor. Pac West with the 20 bomb. Let's go, man. Appreciate you. Which of the last 3 teams should we fear the most? So you're talking Broncos. I'm going in reverse order here. Broncos, Steelers, Texans. We didn't beat Allen. No, but I mean, the Bills are a good team. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying if they want to make it to the Super Bowl, you need to figure that defense out a little bit because that's not sustainable for Josh Allen and company to just consistently have to put up 40 burgers. You know? Which of the 3 teams do you guys think we should fear the most? Brenda said the Steelers. I mean, we could ask that. That's actually a great poll question. I'm just going to ask that because everybody says, hey, Carson Wentz needs to start. Which team should KC fear the most? We're going to go Steelers. I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go Texans, Steelers, Broncos. And you guys can kind of tell me. I mean, my thoughts, like looking at that, I want to say Steelers. They just don't look the same without George Pickens out there. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Some people are saying, well, they got Mike Williams. Okay, he had 1 catch for 15 yards last week. Okay. They just lost pretty handedly to the Eagles. I mean, I think I might fear the Steelers a little bit more than the Texans, but the Broncos are a weird game because obviously that's a division opponent. I think my hope with that is the 1 seed's already locked up, and then who cares about the Broncos at that point? Like, cool. Let them do their thing. You're hopefully able to rest Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, key starters, and maybe the Broncos win. Maybe they don't. But I just kind of hope by then the scenario is Chiefs have the 1 seed. They're not fighting for it week 18 against the Broncos because I agree that's a good team. That's a tough matchup. It gets weird because it's a divisional opponent. Like those games are always weird. The Chiefs lost or won by a blocked walk-off field goal. Leo Chanel blocked it. I mean, they're that close to losing. Bo Nix is going through. I don't want to label it a slump because it's only 2 games, but the previous 10 games, he threw like 1 or 2 interceptions. Well, the past 2 games, he's thrown 5 or 6. I'm not going to say he's in a slump, but he is a rookie and he's working through it. And he doesn't look quite right at this point in time. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But up until then, Bo Nix was playing pretty good, getting better. I think they're well coached with Sean Payton. Very good defense. I mean, that is a tough team. Don't get me wrong. You got Sutton. You got Mims. I mean, you've got a bunch of guys that can make things happen. Crimson with the 5. Cole, with the misses officially leaving you, how's this going to affect your coverage schedule? Pretty brutal right before Christmas. Dude. Yeah, she's actually not feeling well, so I know she's not going anywhere. She's going to bed. But I looked up in my camera, and she's walking a suitcase across the room. No, we should be good. As long as her health is fine, we're all good. Tap with the 6 months. Appreciate you, Cole. I look forward to these updates. Hey, I appreciate you guys being here. We've got 1,200 people in chat on a Tuesday night, and I'm always grateful for that. Did Nick Chubb break his foot? Yes. Nick Chubb broke his foot and is out for the season, which is super unfortunate. A guy that's battled multiple injuries in his career, including that gruesome, significant knee injury, I think at the beginning of last year, came back from that. You know, the Browns weren't winning. They weren't playing for much more than pride at this point in time, but you never want to see another injury like that from somebody who's already been through so much. Crimson, much love, bro. Appreciate you. Grateful for you giving us a place to discuss football and only football. Oh, heck yeah. I don't really care to... I mean, and you guys don't either. Like, do I have thoughts on other things going on in the world? Yeah, but like, that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk Chiefs. We're here to focus on that, and I kind of want this to be an escape. Like, we have to deal with the BS and ads, everybody arguing on social media. It's already divisive. Like, this is a place I want to be able to, hopefully, for people to come to and just be able to, I say hopefully relax because the Chiefs aren't very relaxing right now. But yeah, this is a place to get away from all that stuff right now. Yeah, Wildberry, heck yeah, I just got here. Did you talk about CEH at all? Yeah, I talked about him a little bit. I do wish him well in his next season, his next chapter, wherever that is. There's a couple teams that need running backs. Lions, 49ers. You think Tranquil had a good season this year? Like statistically, he's having a down year, I think, in comparison to last year for sure. But I will say he's playing better recently. I would that's the eye test from what I'm seeing. I would have to go like check some of the metrics and analytics, but I think he's been playing better. Yes. Football safe space. Exactly. Who are you guys saying on this poll, by the way? Which team should KC fear the most? 13% say Texans, 56% say Steelers, 31% say Broncos. All right. That sounds about right. I mean, if you're going in an order, I'd probably say Steelers, but the Broncos get weird because they're a divisional opponent. I mean, the Texans, like, the Chiefs should win that game. Even with Carson Wentz, they should be able to win that game. But we've seen how the Chiefs have been playing a lot of these games. 10 one-score wins this season. 8 of them have been in, like, weird, wild fashion. So, any given Sunday, man, which, in this case, any given Saturday. What about Pat? Are you saying Mahomes and his ankle? Full participant today. It was a walkthrough. He wants to play, said it's not as bad as his ankle injury from 2 years ago. We'll see. To be determined. Is TJ Watt hurt? I think in some capacity, yes. But I don't know if his injury is serious enough where he's going to miss Christmas or anything like that yet. Did I see Gridiron Heights today? Chiefs Black Magic? I have not. Is it good? CEH to the Patriots? I mean, do they need a running back? I don't know if they need one right now. Maybe they do. I haven't been following the Patriots super close. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been keeping up more with the contenders. Frank Clark rumors? Nah, he's done. Nope, no Frank Clark. If he didn't come back last year and he was still in the NFL playing, not coming back this year. I mean, the Chiefs don't have a problem at D-line. They've got a Minihue back. You traded for Uche. He's a healthy scratch. Like, no, I think you're okay. Mahomes is playing 100%. Dude's practicing. He's playing. Well, today's practice was a walkthrough. No pads, no contact. So I'm not reading too much into today. But, I mean, I would think he plays. We'll just have to kind of see as time goes on. CEH with PTSD won't get picked up, I don't think. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not really sure. It's such a tough situation. It sucks. For those of you who aren't aware, back in his college days at LSU, CEH did have to pull a gun on somebody in self-defense and pull the trigger. And that has messed with him for quite a while. And then I think the parade shooting after the Super Bowl rally, I think that caused some flare-ups too. So he's really going through it. Maybe he's better now. I don't really know. But they did move on from him, and I do wish him well. Love watching your lives. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. It was just a walkthrough. Doesn't mean Mahomes is playing. Yeah, it doesn't really mean much at this point in time. But what I'm leaning more on in my thoughts is the pressers today. Andy Reid said he's going to do all that he can to get out there and play. Mahomes said treatment's going well. He's responded well to treatment. He's going to get out there and push it this week, and his goal is to get out there and play. Obviously, if it's going to hurt the team and the offense and the game plan, he's not going to go out there and try to sacrifice that, and he believes in Carson Wentz, and he trusts him too. So we'll see. We just need to get to Thursday. Thursday is when they'll have all 3 practices under their belt. If Mahomes is full participant, all 3 days, maybe he's listed as questionable, but I would think he plays. It's tough to know. We're doing our best guess at this point in time. So Jameis Winston got benched this week too. Dorian Thompson-Robinson's going to be the starter next week, so the Chiefs got that guy benched, which is crazy. Which divisional team would you least like to see in the playoffs? The Vaseline Donkeys or the Chargers? Whew, I mean, right now? I mean, if the Chargers are going to keep looking like that, who just hung 40 points on them? The Bucs. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs just hung a 40 burger on the Chargers. I mean, maybe the Chargers, if I had to pick between the two, but they're 2 good teams, well coached, good quarterbacks. I don't know. I think if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Chargers at this point in time. Ask me again next week and my answer might be different. Tap with the 5. Heck yeah. This is the neutral zone. Go Chiefs. Heck yeah, Tap. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the 5-bomb, brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not afraid to speak on certain things as it's brought up. I mean, we spoke about Butker's stuff in the offseason. We spoke about other incidents that have popped up. But that's just not the central thing behind this channel. We're here to talk Chiefs news, and we're here to talk football. Yeah, the Lions lost. Dude, the Lions lost 3 or 4 people to season-ending injuries in their game against the Bills, which is not something you want to see when they're already dealing with a bunch of injuries. Dean said more than likely he plays, though I think he needs a week off. I think that's why most people in this poll, when we voted, most people probably said, hey, I think Mahomes is probably going to play, but he would probably benefit from some time off before you have to play 4 days later on Christmas. Travis Kelce as an emergency QB? I mean, I would think it's Mahomes if Wentz starts. I think Mahomes would still dress out. I'd be pretty surprised if he was like just straight up inactive. But I'm sure Kelce could do it in some capacity. Although his career stats as a quarterback don't encourage me in the NFL. You're always watching Cole Breaks the Huddle. Thanks so much, man. Cole Breaks the Huddle is my other channel, second channel that we started a few months ago covering NFL-wide news. Kelce would audible the lateral every play. Every single play. Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. is starting for the Falcons. I mean, I feel like you needed to do something if you're the Falcons. Yeah, they just won. But before that, Kirk Cousins hadn't thrown a touchdown pass since week 9. 4-game losing streak before last game that they just won. And he threw 8 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. I mean, you got to do something. You're 6-7, or maybe you're 6-7, I think is what you are. Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm surprised they didn't start Penix like a couple weeks ago. I'm going to trust Veach and trust Reed, said B. Hayes with the 10 bomb. Yeah, our roster isn't ideal, but whenever I might have thought Veach made a bad trade, we've won Super Bowls. Yeah, I mean, nobody's hitting everything, every pick, every free agency signing. I mean, the Chiefs have struggled hitting skilled position players. I don't think CEH lived up to the first round hype that he had. Sky Moore was a miss. Cornell Powell, I mean, kind of a miss too. He was a later round guy, but still, those are some misses. I mean, Rashee Rice was not a miss. I think Xavier Worthy's playing pretty good ball for his rookie year as well. But yeah, I mean, he's not hitting them all. You're not hitting everything, dude. But they are trying, and you do have some superstars that have to carry a little bit. Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and Mahomes. But you've got a pretty decent roster, especially if they had no injuries. Like if Rice wasn't injured, Hollywood Brown was around all season, Pacheco didn't miss all season. He's back now, and then so is Hollywood, basically. But yeah, I mean, all these injuries are unfortunate. Imagine if Jalen Watson wasn't injured. I mean, that was a big blow to the Chiefs secondary. Even Brian Cook, like he's back, but like he doesn't look 100% the same since before his pretty bad ankle injury last year either. Yeah, man, Pop got fined for using his helmet $45,000. His game check's like $50. They fined him a whole game over lowering his head to absorb a hit. It was insane. Crimson Root said Seahawks just waved a corner. Any idea if he's worth picking up? No. I saw that earlier. I think he's a former third round pick, but I do not like his name didn't jump out to me as like, oh yeah, they need to get that guy. And maybe they'll have a chance, but the Chiefs are like one of the last teams to pick on the waiver wire right now. Something else worth noting, AFC West news, Max Crosby had tightrope surgery on his ankle. He had an ankle sprain, been dealing with it off and on all season. Hurt it a lot more, or re-aggravated it further in week 14. And I don't like the Raiders. I do not care about that team, but I will say I have a lot of respect for two players on that team in particular, Brock Bowers, Max Crosby. And regardless if you like a team or you don't like a team, I never wish injury on anybody. And so I hope Max Crosby bounces back and has a great year next year, other than when he plays the Kansas City Chiefs. But he's always a great competitor and fun to go up against. I don't have to go up against him, but just fun to watch. Denise with the 2. What did Pop get fined $45,000 for? I mean, I could try to find it. It was really nothing. I mean, could it have been fined? I mean, I guess they're trying to keep players from lowering their helmets. Let me see if I can find it. Pacheco fine. This play. $45,000 for that. Right there. This catch out of the backfield. Right side. Lowers his helmet to absorb the hit. $45,000? I mean, he led with the crown. And they're just like, hey, you can't do that. Okay. But 40, like, he absorbed his shoulder. Like, there might be a little helmet contact there. A little? But he hit his shoulder. I'm like, bro, $45,000. The dude makes $50,000 a game. He's a 7th round draft pick. That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. All right, so it seems like out of 400 votes, 60% say that the Chiefs should fear the Steelers the most, then the Broncos, then the Texans. Darrell said, I die when you channel Andy. I don't even remember what I said or did. But, hey, sometimes you gotta, unless you're talking to Andy, particularly in Andy Beasley. Can he appeal it? I think so, and he probably should appeal it, because that's insane. They should do fines by percentages of game check. That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought they did. But 95% of your game check is too high, bro. That's too high. Your thoughts on Colts, Jonathan Taylor's fumble. Yeah, if you guys didn't see it over the weekend, 2 players we see this happen quite, like, I don't know why it happens so much. They drop the ball a half a yard before they cross the end zone in early celebration, and it turns into a touchback. Other team gets the ball at the 20. Jonathan Taylor did it, and Battle. I don't remember his first name. He's a safety for the Bengals. Scoop and score, 60 yards. Let's go with the ball at the half-yard line. Turns into a touchback. Jonathan Taylor then did it with the Colts. The Colts, dude, they might have actually beat the Broncos. It swings the entire game. They go up 20-7 in the midway through the third quarter. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't do that, and he fumbled at the half-yard line, touchback, Colts, Broncos get the ball at the 20. Unreal. Unacceptable, in my opinion, for Jonathan Taylor. He's a vet, a vet's vet, a professional's professional, one of the best running backs in the NFL. What are you doing, dude? You can't do that. Are you kidding me? Hold on to the ball through the end zone and drop it in the back of the end zone. That's insane. It's crazy. Jay with the 10 is Veach signing players without talking to Spags. Cam Thomas, Uche, and now Steven Nelson. Is that why Uche doesn't play? Spags didn't want him. I mean, I would think they're not bringing in players like that without Spags' approval. I mean, even if Spags is like, yeah, this isn't my favorite player, but we do need depth, so like I understand why. Let's try to bring him in. You're only giving up like for Uche, you give up a 6th-round pick. Any pick, like 6th, 7th-round pick, they're borderline, maybe could be undrafted free agents. You're just not sure if they'll be able to make it all the way. So I say that to say they might hit, they might stick, they might not. Obviously, there's always exceptions to that rule. What was Brock Purdy? 7th-round pick. I would say that was a hit. Isaiah Pacheco, 7th-round pick. I would say that's a hit. There's definitely examples of it. But yeah, they traded for Uche, and right now he's a depth piece, use in case of emergency type of a guy. But hey, games are won and lost in the trenches, and you can never have too much depth on offense in the trenches or defense. And so I do like the idea that they have a guy that should probably be given some more opportunities to play. But they do have him. Yeah, he's inactive. But like, if anybody gets hurt and banged up, he could play. Am I confused, just like you guys are, that he was a healthy scratch 2 weeks in a row? Yeah, I am confused. I'm not going to lie to you. Cameron Thomas as well. He got waived. He plays for the Browns. I mean, yeah, some of that does not make sense to me. But I think you're just trolling, Jay. But like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Veach is talking to Andy and the coordinators before making a trade, but I am still perplexed by that as well. Uche was better with his last than his teammate Mike Dana in college. I mean, Joshua Uche, speed rusher, has like a 13-point-something pressure win percentage. Second best on the team behind Chris Jones. I don't know, bro. I mean, a Minihue back is great, and he's kind of playing now instead of Uche, and I think he's been playing some pretty good ball. I'm not a film junkie, but what I've been seeing from the line since the Minihue's return is when you can get another guy in there that they have to worry about other than Chris Jones, it frees everybody else up, including Chris Jones at times. I mean, George Karlaftis almost had 3 sacks. Turk Wharton had 2 sacks, I think, last week. Yeah, Cam Thomas got some good pressures with the Browns against the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't understand it, man. Broncos are the toughest. Yeah, I could see that argument. Out of the remaining 3 teams, the Broncos being the toughest because they're the divisional opponent. Very good defense. Know the Chiefs' tendencies pretty well. Again, Sean Payton's a great coach. Bo Nix is playing better, even though he's thrown 5 picks in the past 2 games. But yeah, hopefully the Broncos are a non-factor for the Chiefs by week 18, meaning they have the 1 seed. They can just kind of rest their starters and kind of treat it like a preseason game. Maybe the starters play for a couple quarters and that's it. What did you miss? I mean, a whole hour. Yeah, Minihue had the strip as well. It got recovered, but it was on a 3rd and 5, changed it to a 4th and 15, recovered by the Browns. They had to punt. Pirine is good. Yeah, Samaje Pirine. Heck yeah, dude. You think Bieniemy's coming back? Asked John. I mean, maybe next year. I thought if they were going to bring him back, you could in some capacity as like a consultant or something like that for the playoff run. But I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, fire Nagy and bring EB back now. I don't know that would be helpful at this point in time to have that big of a, I mean, that I say big, like quote unquote big of a shakeup. I don't think that it's needed. You're 13-1. Andy Reid really runs the offense, calls the plays. They're working through things. They need their O-line to be a little bit better. Could play calling be better? Yeah. Could Mahomes be playing a little bit better at times? Yeah. But hopefully DJ Humphries is able to come back for the playoff push. You're going to have Hollywood Brown back. And then Mahomes hopefully is able to get that ankle healthy and right before the playoffs as well. But I mean, to answer your actual question, like, I don't really mind Eric Bieniemy coming back. I just don't know that they're not going to do anything drastic right now. Fire Nagy. EB is now the OC. I just don't, that's insane. For right now. You think D-Hop comes back to KC? I mean, maybe in the offseason box. I mean, it depends on a few different factors. Money, length of contract, and how the rest of the season plays out for D-Hop, for sure. Yeah, there you go. A consultant. Fine with that. Any chance Andy Reid suits up to play left tackle, or is he busy making State Farm commercials? Hey, Andy Reid, former lineman, maybe he could be left tackle for the Chiefs. I will say, just so you guys know, you probably know this, but almost all of those commercials that you see Mahomes in, Andy Reid in, Travis Kelce in, they are done in the offseason, guys. So I see a lot of comments, not right now, but just in general, on social media, on my YouTube vids, Instagram, Facebook. They need to quit doing commercials and focus more on winning these games. Well, they're 13-1. They have problems that they need to work through, but they film these commercials in the offseason, guys. So they're not filming them during the week right now. Bundle Rooski, exactly. D-Hop will want to come back after catching the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. I would like that a lot. It sounds good to me. I wasn't the biggest proponent of signing D-Hop a couple years ago to like a big multi-year contract, but I loved that they got him for the trade, for the price that they got him like that. He's been fantastic. And then if they want to bring him back and they're able to get him on a 1 or 2 year deal, he's going to be 32, 33 years old. So you're going to have to work through that with the age. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Andy Reid played O-line. He was also an O-line coach with Green Bay back in the day too. Yeah, that's kind of where he worked his way. Then he worked with tight ends a little bit too. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Dean said, has anybody seen Andy Reid in the punt, pass, and kick competition as a kid? He's built like a lineman. Let me see if I can find that on Twitter. Yeah, dude, look at this. Andy Reid punt, pass, and kick day, 1971. Look how big he is. He's a whole grown man. Look at the kid next to him. I mean, that's insane. Look at him. Look at all these guys. That is unreal. That's a big man, dude. Look at that throw. Okay, Andy. How old was he? Well, 1971. So when was Andy Reid born? He was born in 58. 68, he was like 13 or 14. He was a Goliath among men. That was crazy. Hollywood Brown's going to help our offense. I agree, Zeke. I agree 100%. Andy Reid is that ringer kid in the sports movies who's smoking a cigarette after dropping his own kid off at school. Real VKR. Hey, Cole, big fan. Thank you, bro. We need our secondary to step up. Can you give me an update on Mahomes, how he's doing? How is he doing? Yeah, I mean, I feel like the secondary and the defense as a whole had a good game, but let's see him do it again against the Texans. And Steven Nelson should be able to help with that. It's going to be a couple weeks. He should help. I mean, dude, even if he can help play outside a little bit, and then at times when needed, Trent McDuffie, again, first team All-Pro last year as a slot corner. If he can kick inside at times, like that's his strength. He's been playing well in the last few weeks, kind of wherever they've been playing him a lot outside. But yeah, if you could have another outside corner that you trust to allow McDuffie, if needs be, to kick inside, like that's going to help, especially with like Chamari Connors he might not even play Saturday. Neither will Steven Nelson most likely, but yeah, I mean, you got to stack days. You got to stack games. And then Mahomes' ankle, like, he's okay. He was a full participant at practice today. It was a walkthrough. We'll see. He said his ankle injury is not as bad as last year, 2 years ago in the playoffs. But yeah, we need to see how practice goes for the rest of the week here. Bring Seth Kaiser more on too. I should hit him up, and maybe after like all this craziness, the 3 games in 11 days thing. But Seth is always great to have on, and I always appreciate his insights. So we'll definitely have to do that. You're all for not re-signing Juju and Hollywood. Use a cap space on a superstar receiver. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Travis Kelce's not getting any younger. The only 2 receivers also you have on the roster after next year from a contract standpoint, Sky Moore, he's probably gone. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. That's it. Hollywood, D-Hop, Juju, 1-year deals. McColl was a 1-year deal. Justin Watson's on the last year of his 2-year deal. OBJ, I mean, he's a free agent right now. It makes sense for OBJ to go to the Rams or the Ravens, in my opinion. 2 teams he's more familiar with recently that are both making playoff pushes. I don't feel like the Chiefs have wide receiver. Like, it's not like they're getting Hollywood back. You have D-Hop. I don't know that you are in that much of a need of another wide receiver right now. And like OBJ, like he's not who he used to be. Not the same guy. Riz King said, no, Cole, stop. We don't need OBJ. No, somebody asked me that in the comments. I don't really think the Chiefs need him. No. How many cheeseburgers does Andy eat after each win? I don't know, but after a game, better slam a few. Is Hollywood playing versus Texans? It's trending in that direction. You've got to bring him back to the roster first, but they have a spot on the roster opened up after waiving Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Why are the Chiefs playing Saturday? It's because the NFL is having them play on Christmas, and you can't play Sunday and then expect them to play on Wednesday. That is insane. So you play a day earlier on Saturday, you then get that extra day, and you play on Christmas. Sign Donovan Smith? I mean, sure. I'm down. More depth before the playoff run. Yeah, for sure. Texans and Steelers have the same schedule. And who's the other team? There's one more. There's 4. Texans, Steelers. Is it Ravens? Chiefs? There's a 4th team. They all play 3 games in 11 days. Yeah, Ravens. There you go. Yep. That's it. There's the 4 teams. So that's what's going on, guys. There's the skinny. There's the scoop on the Kansas City Chiefs. My thoughts on them so far as they prep for this game against the Texans. Will it be Mahomes? Will it be Wentz? The majority of you think it should be Wentz. I think Mahomes probably plays, but it's just such a weird schedule. 3 games in 11 days. The Browns was the first. Texans is the second. The Steelers is the third. That could play a role in opting to rest Patrick Mahomes and save him for Christmas, not because Mahomes is going to want to, but because it might just be the best thing for him and his ankle to give him a few more days, because it's only 4 days until that next game. They got to play the Steelers. So that's what's going on. I drop a video tomorrow. I got a long form video on Thursday. It's going to be Chiefs Texans preview video. Lots going on. Stay safe out there, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out during this Q&A live stream. Hangout mods, appreciate you. All the dono bombs, the gifteds, the members, everybody, all the questions. It means just a ton, man. To have we had 1,200 people in here all night. Like, the fact that I get to do this for a living is not lost on me. It is absolutely incredible just to have all these Chiefs fans, HBTC community. Not everybody's Chiefs fans in here, but most. To be able to hang out and talk Chiefs. I always look forward to the Tuesday night Q&As. Appreciate y'all more than you know. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about the Chiefs?